But if you just do the front row, you'll be slow. Okay, so you're gonna use this foot here, the De La Riva one. You're gonna step on the mat, put your toes on the mat, your heel to the ceiling, and you're gonna use this foot here to spin faster. So you're here, right? You have the belt, you have the aim, you're controlling the distance. You go here, you put your shin, right? Use your foot tight, and then this one was skipping the De La Riva, but now you're gonna spin. Switch to from the De La Riva, you're gonna step on the mat, so you can extend this leg and roll faster. You go like this. Okay, so that's how you spin fast. If you just spin, you're gonna be slow, like slow. Okay. So pay attention to my foot. That's like keeping the De La Riva hook. How I step on the mat after again position. I go here, right? Here, I'm ready to spin. But now this one here, I step on the mat, and then I roll, extend my leg, and I roll. Again, this position here. Okay. Now, if I keep going to this way, I will end up in the half guard on top, and I have to pass the guard again. Okay. So when I go here, after I spin, I'm gonna use this one here to hook his leg. Okay. So I go here, I hook his leg, and I switch my grips. From this angle here, I switch to this one because now I have my.
It's not working. Why? Okay, there we go. Now it's working.
My grip control his leg, and I have my foot. Can't escape. If I'm here, trying to get it back, you have this leg here to defend. Okay.
So anyway, what I was saying is this is another example of an approach. It's another example of an approach where he's grabbing the far side foot.
So when I'm upside down, I have this foot tight, and this one controlling his leg and my grip here. And I have the belt still. Now I just have to roll, and I use my legs to bring him to that way. So go like this. Once I get here, I'm far away from his back. So I can't try like, I'm gonna take his back. No. I'm gonna go squeeze my legs, I pinch my knees together, controlling the hips, okay? Then I step on the mat, I'm gonna jump to this way, get this belt. Get it here. Okay, I get this belt first, I pinch my knees together, I stretch him out, and then I put the hook in. Okay? De La Riva, grab the belt, break the pause. You're trying to sweep, you can't, you step on the mat so you get a better angle. Okay, twisting his knee. You come back, your foot, move it back into the hips. You kick him, use your hand to sweep. Oh, you put the hips on the mat, right? You keep controlling the distance. You keep the hook, and you keep your foot here. Okay, on the stomach, so he can't come up. Now, I switch, I'm gonna put my shin across his back, okay?
See, bringing the shin across, using his other foot to create momentum, capturing the other foot.
When I go like this, I'll just roll. So I'm gonna use the foot I'm using to keep the De La Riva, the De La Riva hook, I will step on the mat. Okay, so I can extend my leg and roll faster. Okay, so you go here, now I switch, with my foot here, step on the mat, so I can extend my leg and spin faster. Then here, now, don't keep going. You're gonna end up in the half guard on top. So from here, you hook the leg, okay, so this foot here, I hook his leg, and I switch my grip, okay, and then here, behind his knee, now I keep going. I keep using the belt and my grip and my leg to bring him to that side. Go, once again here, I use my legs to squeeze his hips, take him together, okay, now sit belt, I stand on the next sit belt, and jump to the back 10 times. Now I stretch him out, and I put him, okay, of course, when I do it like real time, I will not stop upside down, it's just one motion, okay, we'll go a little bit faster now, okay, so bring the hips on the mat first, okay, controlling the distance, now I come up here, and then I swing, and again here, I get the control, and keep rolling, then taking the back and okay.
Gordon Ryan, huge honor for me. He's going to talk about the difference between the BJJ Berimbolo and gi and no gi.
Guys, Gordon just finished shooting his new structure, the supine guard. That's the open guard, it's back on the ground. So the last instruction that he did was the received open guard. It was one of the best instructions that BJ Fanatics was one of the best videos we ever had. And today he's going to show us here, one of the moves that he showed in the instruction. That's the difference between the Beribmolo and no.
Just they can start getting to hide your legs and things like that, but it's going to take way too long. That's in the instructional. Right, but one of the main differences as far as positional attacks with your partner is when I go to attack my partner's back with the gi, it's very easy to create upper back exposure. You have to learn to determine whether you're going in and looking to get lower back exposure or upper back exposure first, or if you eventually have to obviously do both. Okay? Whenever I attack a Berimbolo with the gi, it's easy to create upper back exposure. If I can create upper back exposure with the Berimbolo, I can take my partner's back. If it's easy to create lower back exposure, but it's hard to create upper back exposure. With the gi, I have the luxury of being able to grab either the belt, which some players like to use, or straight collar or cross collar. Because I have a hold of the fabric of the gi, it's easy to create upper back exposure. Okay, so for example, we pulse it. If I go to your typical Berimbolo, I grab Bernardo's gi like so. As I start the motion into a Berimbolo, I have control of his upper body. So as I start to work underneath Bernardo like so, I get my knee behind this. Notice I still have this egress. So when Bernardo goes to put his upper back on the floor and move out away from me, it's very easy for me to grab his deep hands like so, and start to move Bernardo into a position where now I can control his upper back.
See, look, he's doing a far side collar control for upper body exposure.
So when I start this motion, going into a Berimbolo, I have the luxury of controlling Bernardo's upper body in some way, either with a belt grip, a collar grip, or a cross collar grip. So as I go to start going in and hitting this Berimbolo, I can easily start to create upper back exposure. Where now, Bernardo's lower back and upper back are both exposed. So as he goes to start moving away from me, it's easy to start moving him down the floor into positions where we can go in and start with that back. Okay? So the Berimbolo with the gi. Now, let's contrast that, where Bernardo takes the gi off, and now we have to go in. If I try to go into a Berimbolo without the gi, now the issue is, how can I create upper back exposure? It's easy to create lower back exposure. So when I go, I initially go in this time, instead of using a collar grip.
So, as Danaher would say, first we have to identify what is our central problem. How the fuck do we create upper back control and exposure? I'm very soft-spoken, and I cuss like a fucking sailor. It's the first thing John Danaher ever said to me.
Okay. I'm going to use the tight waist like so. I start to invert, and now from here, I have easy low back exposure. Now Bernardo's low back is off the floor. But if Bernardo insists on keeping his two shoulders glued to the mat, it's hard now for me to get any kind of upper back exposure, because I do not have the luxury of being able to control his upper body through that lapel grip. So what does this mean for us? When you do Berimbolos with the gi, it's your choice whether you choose to enter into your partner's legs, sweep them to top position, or attack their back. Okay? Because you can always create some degree of upper back exposure because of the connection you have to the upper body. Without the gi, this is very different, because now he determines where he puts his upper back. There's multiple things that can happen. One, Bernardo fights the top position, which means he tries not to get swept, and he keeps his shoulders off the floor, and he himself creates upper back exposure. Where I start to go Berimbola, and Bernardo tries to come up on top of me.
Notice he's doing that back hip grip. Similar to what Bladen was doing earlier.
Or now from here, we can go in various ways, and now the upper back exposure, where I can go out and start taking his back. So he tries to stay on top of me and takes his own back off the floor. Okay? If that happens, then he can easily go into a back take and go into Berimbolos if he determines he takes his back off the floor. But if I go into a Berimbolo, and Bernardo now keeps his lower back, or his upper back rather, on the floor, so I go in, and he glues his back to the floor, now that's his choice. I can't pull his upper back off the floor. If we're in the gi, he has no choice. I can always pull his upper back off the floor to some degree. Okay? But in this situation, it's different. Now, instead of having a choice between taking his back, going into his legs, or sweeping him, you only have two choices now. You can sweep him to top position, or, more favorably sometimes, especially with lots of lab, and in submission only, we can go in, we enter into his legs. Okay? So without the gi, with Berimbolos, you're looking for mostly sweeps.
Bolo into the legs.
If your opponent
Yes,
tries to squeeze
please.
out and not get swept, and they create upper back exposure for themselves by taking the back off the floor, then by all means take their back. But you can't force that. In the gi, you can force that because of the upper body grip of the lapel. You can always force some kind of upper back exposure. But without the gi, you can't. So mostly, you go into sweeps or attacks on your partner's leg because you don't have the luxury of controlling that collar grip to create the upper back exposure.
In inside Senkaku.
Like, he likes to do the Berimbolo no gi, but doesn't have a good leg attack. So they give a wonderful percent on the table, right? Because I guess like how you mix the going to the Berimbolo is like you either go to the back or you go to the leg attack, right?
There's so many IBJJF guys that do Berimbolos really well. You don't really see those guys doing, you know, you don't really see special guys, too many special guys or guys in ADCC doing Berimbolos. It's mostly either lightweight guys or mostly wrestling ADCC especially. So you have a lot of guys who are very good on the IBJJF rules that doing Berimbolos mostly, but heels aren't allowed. It's mostly deep. So it's just a nice interface between doing Berimbolos and chain leg locks in those attacks.
So can you show one more time you wanted to go to the leg attack? But that was very, very nice.
So now we go with the Berimbolo. Now we can play here. We can play here. There's a whole different can of worms here. And here obviously there's some leg exposure for he can attack my legs, but you can play either or. Right now as I go to invert, instead of going in for a collar, I just go in and look at the waist. I'm not as far ahead. Now here's always to get our knee behind
Forehead
our
control.
For now, let's just move that a little bit that way. Now Bernardo has a choice. If Bernardo tries to get up on top of me,
It's kind of like the waiter sweep style, and then he uses that to take the back.
Put his back on the floor. His elbow can't get to the ground. And now there's some degree of upper back exposure. We're going to start coming out. He's sitting up. He's taking his back. If on the other hand, Bernardo knows that, okay, if he goes to come on top, he's gonna get his back taken. So what does he do? He feels the inversion and he throws his back to the floor. And whenever I see this, I can't get that upper back exposure. I have one leg in and one knee, one shin behind his knee. Now from here, we're gonna take a pass off, where our left hand moves from the ankle to a scoop grip of Bernardo's leg like so. Now what I have to make sure of is I'm not naive. I don't sit up and he throws his leg around and triangles me. It's no good. I always make sure when we come in, we keep our head glued to our partner's our ear, glued to our partner's leg like so. We put a wedge inside of our partner's far leg. And as he goes to triangle me, this will turn to move. Now from here, we just invert our knee. We slide our right knee up like so. And now even when he goes to scoot out and away from me, this scoop grip will always pull him back in, so he can put our leg across. Now we can go to all of our favorite leg attacks, or
Nice. Yeah, so avoid the triangle danger or pass the guard. Nice. Understanding Berimbolo. Huge honor for me. Man, the friggin' sound quality on this is terrible. See, most setups start in Del Hiva. Push-pull. Kazushi off balance for the sweep.
concerned about spinning under until I knock him down in this position. And we have two options from here. Either one, I continue to hold on to the collar, because this is just a strong stick,
So he says there are two options, but obviously we've seen a lot of options.
I just got to reach to a button, and there's one on the side here. Right before that, even though it's a grip switch, I do feel comfortable switching the head to the button. Not just easy, just one on top. And once the stick, it takes a lot of people making someone's down with it starts spinning, and it just goes too far away from you, can do this. You step forward ahead, and it's very easy for my partner to scoot away. Let's see my feet are on the hip either. So when I go, I use this grip on the belt to pull my head towards his hip, and I really want to make sure that both my feet are glued to his forehead. So I have a grip, and I really pull myself, and the seat of my head is making contact with his hip right here. And both of my feet are glued to far on his hip. So sometimes if guys are trying to sit up or trying to scoot away, I can still kind of follow them from here. I'm not going into the twist right away. So there is a basic Beribmolo where we start bringing our feet to the mat, we start bringing it, but sometimes that's kind of hard with how heavy Bernardo is. It's easier for me to try to use leg pump to get my leg to the inside to start taking it back. So my hand that was controlling the ankle to start is now going to reach for his hip. I see a lot of guys reach for the ankle, isn't too bad either, but I feel better the higher I go up on the leg. And watch me now, I'm going to start creating space with my legs. I don't like his legs stay so tight and heavy on me here, so what I'm going to do is the leg is closest to him, I bring a shin behind me. One, I create space. Two, I'll push, I'll kind of give you border distance, and now three, I'm going to start swinging my right leg in. So watch how I kind of rotate my hip and closer.
See, twister hook.
Might be a little bit more complicated, but also I feel like at the same time,
The pass off to the twister hook is usually probably the best.
Sometimes you can end up a little low on the back. So
Hip control, twister hook, extend.
You guys can understand that. So he was so what the sad part was, okay, and so actually this is very different. All these hoops and this progression that he has with his legs and my legs, I think that's what makes.
Okay, so today I'm going to show one position I like to use from the Beribmolo. Actually, from the Beribmolo. I like this option because sometimes when you go for the Beribmolo, so let's start with this one. Here, I'm going to start with the grip on the collar and the ankle. From here, I don't like to shoot my belly so deep when I go for the Beribmolo. Instead, I just focus on opening his base first. So I'll use my free leg here to just open his leg, open this leg here. So I kick on the inside of his thigh, and at the same time, I pull just a little bit on the collar. Now from here, I use my foot on the ground. Okay, so the foot on the mat does a lot. I think a lot of people undervalue this. So instead, I'm trying to move him to the side right now, where his base is a little bit stronger and my hooks aren't as strong on his hips. I go and I move my hips just a little bit here. This adjustment makes a really big difference. Okay, now what that also does is it gives me a pull in a different direction. If I'm here and I try to pull with the grip on the collar like this, I'm pulling him where his base is really strong. But if I open his base and then I pull from the side, it's really hard for him to stop. So instead, like when I'm here, I pull and then I feel all of his weight loaded on the foot.
So this is all just tips on how to knock them down for the
When I bring this like
Berimbolo.
that, I'm not just gonna like kind of lazily throw it up here. Instead, I'm gonna clamp this leg like this. I'm gonna isolate this leg here. So I go over and I lash it right onto his hip. Now from here, when I shoot to go underneath, this is gonna be really hard for him to escape. Okay? So from here, I go to the detail, and I have his hips controlled, and now the grip on the collar is gonna go to the belt. Now the variation we're gonna work today is really strong. I feel like if I always go for the back or really good position, sometimes I'll lose it because the guy he knows he's in jeopardy for me like either getting this variation is gonna be really strong.
Breakdown,
And I'm gonna go
hip control, inversion. When he comes up, he just
I'm gonna pull on his
fully
belt, like
grandies
this,
in
to
and
control his
out.
hips. And sometimes the fight here is gonna be getting underneath this knee. I'm here. Okay? This is really strong because I'm like one step ahead. He's just
Alright, here's some highlights of Levi Leary. Notice full inversion, controls far leg, keeps rolling through. Keeps chasing the back. Open guard. Is that Lucas Lepre? No. Rebels against the mainstream. That's really good. He uses it to sweep. So he gets butt control, far hip control, has him platformed. Look, he's pushing away. He inverts all the way through. Comes up, keeps the butt control, takes top position. So here, look, beautiful. Trying to get that foot in. There he goes. Once he gets that hook, now he can go for the baby bolo. Crab ride. I like how he goes side, undulates side to side, and gets it. And then crab ride, nice. Crab ride push off, that was beautiful. gets his hooks, gets his points, and IBJJF is going to stop him. Let them go a lot further than I go. And our infamous finish off on why Berimbolo doesn't work from Keenan Online.
Those don't work. Now, I should put some context into that, because if you just take it at that sentence, people are going to be like, what are you talking about? There's plenty of variations that can still be good, and crab ride is effective, and you can still take it back, blah, blah, blah. That's true. Crab ride is not Berimbolo. Berimbolo is an entry into crab ride position. The conventional Berimbolo movement is the grabbing the hip, spinning underneath to take someone back. As an entry to crab ride, Berimbolo sucks. To take someone back, Berimbolo sucks. The hand position for Berimbolo sucks and does not work. Getting to crab ride is good. Once you can get to crab ride, you can take someone back from anywhere. But you can do that from a plethora of different ways to get to crab ride, which are all very effective, such as deep Del Hiva. Reverse Del Hiva is even better than crab ride most of the time with Berimbolo. There's just not enough control from Berimbolo position. Worm guard can get you to crab ride. There's so many other ways to do it that are more effective than grabbing the ankle, grabbing the pants, and trying to invert around their leg. I'm going to show you why that sucks. First, I'm going to show you a picture perfect Berimbolo out of it. You're going to perform it. I go to the task, picture perfect Berimbolo. So
Picture perfect Berimbolo. They're literally in his house.
Around, kicking my leg, and then dropping my hips to the mat, and then I'm like, oh no. Then, but do your Berimbolo stuff, do differently. Perfect. This is the technique that I'm arguing does not work. Taking the back with those positions, right? Even if you were to just do this to get the crab ride, say I defend slightly, just not let him actually take my back. So I drop like this, and then I sit my hips through, so he's here, he's in crab ride position. This would be more like the crab ride position here. Even this is very easy to defend, but it's still a better attack. Like, the entry to get here is what sucks. You would never be able to get here once I show you these defenses. There are many other positions that can get you there more effectively. Now, I'm just going to show you, like, a smattering of defenses to not let someone get around your back or put your hips to the ground. Now, you can see one of the weaknesses in what I was doing is I'm allowing my hips to touch the mat. If I ever let someone put me Del Hiva, and I put my hips on the mat like this, Berimbolo can work. Because it's so easy for him to spin underneath it. This is why it works. People go here, this is what people were doing for a long time. They're like, they start trying to scoot away, like they already put their hips on the mat. Like that's where he messed up. It's not what he did. It's because I allowed my hips to go to the mat. He cannot force me to go to the mat with his gripping positions. If you look, what is pulling me down? His hand? Like there's no pressure there. His foot is what, stopping me from like stepping forward or something? If I just control his leg for one, he can't even put me to like the baby bowler, right? Which is this position. This is good. Baby bowler is like functional. You can do it. But that's not even a Berimbolo. It's like there's no inversion, there's no spinning through, which is like the entire thing that makes a Berimbolo is the inversion. At that point, it's just Del Hiva guard, which is very effective. Del Hiva guard can be very effective, but Del Hiva guard gets shut down pretty easily now too. There's like a lot of great guard passers will step into Del Hiva guard just because they're so confident that they can shut down attacks from there. So if I do not allow someone to get my hips to the mat, even if I don't do any of the preemptive defenses such as pushing on the shin, controlling his wrist, getting into a more square posture, or stepping over his leg, like this is all just like basic positioning that everyone should know, completely shuts down Berimbolo. If I allow him to get all the positioning, which shouldn't even happen, he shouldn't even get this far. Even still, there's so much I can do to actually stop Berimbolo. The first being, as he goes to invert, I don't even have to do anything. He can do everything right. Just the act of me bringing my ankle to my butt instead of putting my butt to the mat. Here, as he tries to pull me down, I put my foot, sit on my own foot, while still maintaining upright posture. As he tries to invert, my hand is just at his top foot to create a little bit of space. Go ahead and invert all the way through. Keep going, trying to take it. Now, where are we? At no point was he able to attack any sort of crab ride position, right? The fact that he just...
Okay. So, right now, he's saying that the Berimbolo won't work because, one, the preventative steps that he already has would not get him into that compromised position, which is just, in the long arc of jiu-jitsu, is probably not going to be true. Like, someone's going to find a way to sweep you and enter into a Del Hiva hook style Berimbolo. So, that's just fundamentally not necessarily true. And then, number two, being here, he could start going into waiter style sweep, off balancing Kazushi this way, knock him down, and then go back into the bolo. So there's always modifications.
Just goes to show that the Berimbolo position sucks. Yes, he can continue trying to do something from here. Like if he were to continue trying to attack like this, he's in an okay position, but the Berimbolo did not result in back attack. So you may say, oh, there's things you can do from there to stop it. The problem is that as long as I step away, if I sit my butt close, or I sit on my knees close like this, it may still work. From here, he can get close enough because he's underneath me. He's underneath my hips. That's the problem. You just extend away and create space with your top hand on their top foot. I've spent a long time Berimbolo.
It's also important to note that Keenan is taller than like 85% of his competition.
Not this way. If I sit this way, this is bad.
Like he's so tall.
His body's underneath my hips. He has control. But if I sit away, like this, as he tries to invert, he's too far to reach my other leg to control my hips. From this position, all I have to do is bring my foot through. Start trying to move into him with my foot over his arm. And I stop the main goal, which is for him to control my hips. So, Berimbolo, when I get the hips like this, and I start trying to pull him down, see how I'm underneath his hips here? What Adam needs to do is move his hips away and drop to his foot, here. Now as I invert, he's going to control my ankle. Doesn't have to be the pants. Because I need to go like this.
So, Internet, let me know. Do you think that this position right here is enough to kill Berimbolo attacks?
I start bringing my shin through like this. But even this is very difficult because now I've lost my ability to invert. I can't invert over my own body here. I have to just go to like crab ride position, which is still fine. This is a good attack. But I'm not doing a Berimbolo anymore. At that point, I'm doing basically a calf slice, which should just be done from like an underhook anyways, like this. It's the same thing, but it's more effective because you can do it with a calf slice and forces their hips away to attack. Or even better, from squid guard would be more effective. We don't have to show that part, but
another common, this is probably the quintessential Berimbolo that the Meows use non-stop, is to push away and then pull them forward so that their leg is elevated off the mat, so his foot's off the mat. And then using that, they build momentum with this backwards motion and then swing back this way. They're trying to Berimbolo here and catching the hip with their hand. My right hand's at his hip. And then, tell me you haven't seen a more beautiful Berimbolo than that. It's a really beautiful move. However, I'm going to try to do all that. I push away, I come here, but now what Adam's going to do is instead of letting me swing back, he's just going to sit his hips over there. So when I try and come here, like this, and then control my top leg, this shuts down at all. You just have to bring his foot out as you want. You just step it out in 3. Like this, I lose the whole position. Okay? Go ahead and do it to me. Here, do it from the collar this time. So, push this leg, pulls me this way up. Here, I sit away. Break the collar. Continue trying to Berimbolo. Walking the leg. Here. Once I catch this, I can just push his ankle down and sit back up. There's that. Like, what are his options from there? If I just do some basic grip maintenance, his attacks are very futile. You see what I'm saying? It's hard for me to show, like, how many things. Like, that's just, like, worst case scenario. Before any of that happens, if I know a guy's a Berimbolo, all I'm going to do is make sure that he can't have his
So, we watched an hour and a half of videos in double speed to just show that Berimbolo doesn't work. But no, the Berimbolo is a good technique. It is effective. There are obviously problems with every position in Jiu-Jitsu. You can counter the counter to the counter to the counter and just about everything.
If he gets even deeper and he has it here and he starts to reach for my hip, no, stop. And grab his shin. I don't have to let him get around to this side of my body. I can pull his foot past my hip. Sit in more like this, pushing his shin down. So now his knees too up close to his chest. He's not actually able to elevate his hips anywhere to get around the side. He can underhook and start to stack. This. There. Another option. You got Belhiva, he may start to go for it. I go here, I open my shin up, over his shin. If he keeps the grip on my ankle, his shin's gonna break. He has to let go to save his own leg. And then once I'm here, your Berimbolo can shut down. So there's so many little things you can do. The problem is that lower belts, they don't understand the fundamentals of passing. So you see these guys sort of just walk into someone's guard. They're like, okay, now I need to start passing. Oh no! They didn't do any of the proper movement, like basic. I guess it's not basic, but it's stuff that should be basics. Like people should be teaching proper hand positioning and grip breaks from these common guard attack positions, which I do. If you watch the blue belt course, we talk about how to shut down every guard attack position. The very first thing being, which I emphasize always, is never just walk into someone's guard. Like I have a huge advantage being on top. I get to initiate the action. I can choose whatever movement I want. I can do that.
So, anyway, that is the first certified review of all of the free materials that I think are really high quality available on YouTube for the Berimbolo. The Berimbolo has a lot of nuances, the setups, double sleeve, single leg X. But really, I think the common themes are breaking someone down to a hip, getting cross hip control, getting tight knee on knee control, and having different moves, the stomp, the twister hook, different ways to get back exposure, as Gordon was talking about, which is a lot harder in no-gi than it is in gi. So in no-gi, you can transition and come up into the legs or pass, which I think is something that you should be working on when your bolos aren't failing to, or when they are failing to give you the back exposure that you need. You can always come up into side control or mount, and then work on getting back exposure later. So, that's our certified breakdown.